Well, hello everyone. Hey, it is Karen McDermott Rolfe, independent advisor with Creative Memories, and I am here today sharing a layout and a video as part of my virtual holiday open house. This is an annual event that I hold every year along with my in-person holiday open house. Now, this past year, I had to postpone both of those events, but I was so happy to get them rescheduled and to be hosting them now this weekend here, January 17th and 18th. So you can partake in the virtual holiday open house on Facebook in my private group, Karen's Croppers. That's where I'm going to be sharing for my virtual holiday open house, along with two different layout videos that I'll be sharing here on my YouTube channel. Okay. And then for all of my local croppers, hello, if anybody's watching, I hope to see you on Saturday, January 18th at my home for my in-person holiday open house. So let's take a look at the layout that I've created here for you. I created this some time ago and I've been sitting on it just waiting to share it for holiday open house. And I used the Festive Lightbulb Punch. Now, unfortunately, this is one of those punches that sold out rather quickly after Creative Memories released it. So that's kind of been happening lately. You'll notice with a lot of our punches. But you might reach out to your Creative Memories advisor to see if she still has any in her inventory. Okay, it's really a super cute punch and I've seen it used many different ways. I'm also using paper from the This Life paper pack. I love the prints in this because they're bright primary colors. So, we had a beautiful Christmas collection, the Christmas Charm collection, that was done in deeper, richer, traditional colors of green and gold and cranberry. But if you want something a little brighter for any of your holiday or your Christmas layouts, I would suggest that you look at the This Life paper pack because it has these prints that are in the bright primary colors, and they're monochromatic prints. So you have a little bit of a pattern. You've got some red on red, purple on purple, green on green, orange on orange, etc. Okay, so check that out. And then I've also been I'm really loving our bright white cardstock. It's more of a true bright white than our regular white cardstock. The regular white cardstock is a little bit of a creamy white, where this one is a true white, so I'm really liking that. And I've used the Mirrored Scallops Border Maker cartridge here for the edges of my border. That's the Mirrored Scallops, and that's still available on the website, along with the This Life collection. The stickers are from the This Life collection, the ABC 123 stickers. They're white with the little green dots on them. And the Traditions title and these little epoxy dots are part of the This Life embellishment pack. Okay, but I wanted to talk today and wanted to demonstrate how I created this border with my light bulbs going in the different direction. And if you'll notice, they're pretty evenly spaced. Okay, they're really centered really nicely on the strip and they're pretty evenly spaced between each other, and I have some pointing up and some going down. So I wanted to show you how I did that. So you're going to need a ruler and a pencil, and we'll get started. So I did write down some measurements here for you. And we're going to start out with a strip of that bright white cardstock that I've already pre-cut to 2.5 by 12 inches. Okay, 2.5 by 12. And now you're going to need your pencil and your ruler, and we are going to make some marks on this. We need to measure 5/8 of an inch over from both sides. So I'm going to start here on the bottom first, and I'm measuring 5/8 of an inch over from the left, and then 5/8 of an inch over from the right, and I'm making a little mark. And I'm going to do that on the top also. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 right there. And I'm going to just turn my ruler upside down. Now, if you have the Creative Memories acrylic ruler, you have all these measurements on there for you very nicely, so they're easy to find. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is right here, 5/8. And now I'm going to draw some vertical lines to connect my pencil marks that I made. Okay. And this will be the back side of the strip, so don't worry about the lines or how darkly that you draw them. Okay. And now we're going to make some marks here on our lines every 2 inches down. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. I'll do this on the other side here too. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And now these marks are going to help us to line up the punch. So I'm going to hold the punch upside down here as I punch. And I'm going to line it up so when I put the cardstock, let me come close for you. I'm going to be matching up this vertical line that I drew in the center of that festive light bulb. And then I'm also going to, let's start at the top and work our way down. So my 2-inch line there, that is going to be about the bottom of the light bulb. Now we're not going to be able to see it exactly, but just kind of come up and cover it a little bit. But not too much because we're right at the top there. So I have to come down a little bit. And I can see that I'm pretty much on that line and I have a little bit of space at the top. So I'm going to punch. So very good. I have that little bit about 1/8 of an inch there. And now for my second punch again, I'm going to look at that line, kind of put the bottom of the punch on that line, making sure the vertical line is in the center of the light bulb and punching. So now we can see I'm going to get some even spacing between my light bulbs and they're going to be straight. So I'm punching on that vertical line and I'm leaving that spacing in between. So again, I'm looking at that line I drew, one of those 2-inch lines. I'm putting the bottom of the punch on it, centering it. And now the last one, we're just going to kind of come down and come up a smidge. Because again, you want to leave about 1/8 of an inch there. And then you'll see that spacing in between the light bulbs now is really pretty close to being evenly spaced. Okay. So now to do our second punch, we're going to turn the strip around. And I'm still holding it this way. And now you're going to see when I punch, my light bulbs will be in the other direction. So here they're pointing down and now they're going to be pointing up. So again, I'm looking at that line there at the top with the 2 inches. I'm putting the bottom of the light bulb on it, centering it, and punching. Now it's going to be, I mean, they're not going to be exactly side by side. They're going to be like a little bit lower than that first row, but I like that. Okay. Really, you get good movement. I'll talk about that in a minute, what I mean by that. And then doing this last one. Oops. It was a little off right there. That spacing got off on me. I think maybe what happened was that very first one could have been up a little bit more and then down. So this, again, this is a great example. I'm kind of glad when things like this happen when I'm on camera for you. Not really, but I do like to point out, you know, things because these could be common things that happen to you too, okay? In this case, you know, if I were really using this on my layout, I would redo it and get that spacing better. And I would make sure that I started a little bit up further for the second one, okay? But for right now, we're just gonna go with it. And then we'll flip it over and use this side, right, without the marks. Now to fill in the light bulbs, I've already gone ahead and I've, well, here's the instructions for you about measuring from 5/8 of an inch over, marking every 2 inches, and then you're going to cut your colored pieces to 1.25 inches by 2. And I just used some red and green cardstock here. And I'm going to use my repositional tape. And I'm going to flip it back to the back side again. So we're going to tape it to the back side. And I'm just going to put some repositional tape very close to the outside edges of the punched openings and kind of in between there. So see, I'm just kind of dabbing it all around those openings. We don't need a gob of adhesive here, just because when we do adhere it to the layout, that'll help to hold it all together also. And then we're just going to kind of alternate our colors, or if you're using more than 2 colors, work out a pattern that you like. And when I get done with this, I'll show you a look at my original layout again and the pattern of the colors. But you see how easily they just place on, since I've already have that adhesive is already on the white strip. I'm just quickly placing these little rectangles. There we go. And there we go. Oops, and now we can see right here, I've got a little bit of the green showing instead of the red. So I just need to bring this red strip down a little bit. And same with this strip right here. And this was that edge that got, this punch that got a little too close to the edge. So I just need a smaller, I don't have my scissors here. I'm just gonna tear off an edge of this to make this red piece a little bit smaller. There we go, and that filled it in. And I see, there we go. Very good. I talked about movement before, and I told you I'd come back to that. So you can see with the bulbs going up and down, that is kind of helping to move our eye around. So it's going to help to move it around the layout a little bit. And this is a kind of a subconscious thing our brain does. And that's often why, we'll place embellishment clusters in that visual triangle of when we place embellishments. So it kind of moves your eye around. So in this case, we have this big, really dominant border here on the left. And then our eyes would go over here to the title, and then down here where we have the journaling and some additional little epoxy embellishments. So that's going to help to move the eye this triangular way in this up and down movement. And it's something that just kind of helps to make the layout more interesting. And again, it's some kind of subconscious thing that happens to the eye, so that when you see a layout again and you think, oh, that's really attractive, or I really like that, and you can't really quite put your finger on it, why? Some things like that could be happening subconsciously in your mind. And this is a really kind of simple layout, right? It's just a border on the side and some titles and some mats. But, to give it that extra movement and the extra color really makes it more interesting. And so I did use 6 different colors for my bulbs here. And I made sure that, when I did the first row, I had my ordering. But then I wanted to make sure when I started my second row, I didn't want to start with the orange at the top, because in the middle, I would end up with 2 that are the same color right across from each other, okay? So instead, I started with a bulb that was down a little ways from the blue. So I started with the red here, and that keeps the pattern all different. And it spaces out the colors, okay? All right, so I hope, and then again, I cut some narrow red cardstock strips to put on the edges here of the border, and then that mirrored scallop border maker cartridge to add a little scalloped edge to, again, from that bright white. So I hope that you make this layout and give it a try. And if you're following me there in Facebook with Karen's Croppers for my virtual holiday open house, make sure to look at my post there. I've got a hashtag that I'm using for these virtual holiday open house layouts. So if you make the layout and share a photo there in Karen's Croppers with me, make sure to use the hashtag. All right, everybody, I will be back in about 2 hours to share another video with you today.